Blizzard has the Tiger team working nonstop on what a roguelite really is. It's Blizzard's Tiger team. It's the Snow Tiger. The Snow Tiger team. That's right.
Hey, it's Soul. Welcome back to Warcraft Weekly, the show that was once a vibrant and positive channel, now down the negativity spiral so many WoW content creators chose to dive into. Literally riling up your viewers is the straw that breaks my camel's back. Farewell. Well, sad to see them go, but you know what? If Ian did a Q&A and he just hinted that the team was considering player housing in the future, you bet your ass you would see me right here telling all of you to pound at the gates and scream, give us player housing. That was hardly a scream, but you get it, right? Sometimes I get really excited. Now, let's talk about this week's highlights, starting with some juicy gossip on Bobby Kotick. I found this over on Wowhead, although while the article itself is still up as of this writing, the story seems to have fallen off the news feed, but it's being reported on other outlets anyway. The media discovered legal findings that the CEO had his salary reduced by half. His bonus reduced by half. So while the company as a whole did well during the pandemic, you could say that it thrived amidst office closures and layoffs, including the sudden shift of Toys for Bob, the makers of Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, to support continued development on Call of Duty. Some suspect the pay cut is Activision Blizzard bowing to pressure from analysts, as well as the general public over CEO pay, which up until now, Bobby Kotick was the highest paid CEO in the gaming industry. Whether Kotick offered to take the hit himself or his board voted on it, whatever. As of now, he's nowhere near.
I don't begrudge a man earning his paycheck. I just kind of feel that you're not really contribute. If you don't contribute to something, then you're like, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of
that top.
It's one of those things, dude.
The public discourse played part in this change. It's a total PR move. My take is that this pressure may mostly come from within, PR among its own employees. In the tech world, people come and go. People make lateral movements and suddenly make 30% more than they used to because, well, the market's competitive like that. Meanwhile, in the gaming world, we as fans treat developers whose names we actually remember like they're rock stars and treat their movements within the industry like the latest sports ball drafts and trades. But these so-called high-profile departures write a narrative, whether it's true or not, about the morale, the state of a company like Activision Blizzard. I speculate that for the most part, this move is to improve the relationship between leadership and the rest of the staff. I also speculate that maybe Kotick is putting one foot out the door, and he may not, in fact, extend his rule as CEO past 2023. I meant to say role, and I typed rule in the teleprompter. That's kind of funny. Anyway, by 2023, Kotick will hit the nice round age of 60 years old. As the longest
making too much money. 60 years old, making way too much damn money to enjoy it. I would have quit that stuff 30 years before that, man.
Kotick stated his desire to hire another 2,500 folks across the company. No clue what kinds of jobs or for what segment.
Why are you hiring people when you just got done firing a bunch of people?
You know, instead of 2,500 hires, how about you cut that number like in half and then use that extra capital for, I don't know, the people
making the game
have,
good,
give them increased benefits.
So people like Asmongold quit bitching.
Slash time paid. Get it? It's a gamer term used for labor. Anyway, this week was a week of discussion slash bitching slash players pitting themselves against one another after a Q&A between Mike from Preach Gaming and game director Ian Hazzikostas.
Here's the thing I was talking about earlier.
With the candor, despite the expected non-answers that came from Ian. Both gentlemen treated the topics seriously, with mindfulness of who it is that they're trying to speak for, so I'm very glad that basically last week I was tripping. Things turned out as fine as we could expect. I'd still prefer some sort of compromise between developers making a presentation and just talking to us, and a streamer asking questions based on what little is pieced together. But with a Q&A that discussed a broad variety of topics and not character customization, sadly, it reignited the feelings of unrest and frustration in part of players. People be like, oh, so that's what he has to say about the thing that's important to me. That's it? After all of this waiting? Which is why, again, I would prefer Blizzard to try to be in front of these conversations, because right now it gives this vibe that's, oh, he had to be asked about this before finally talking about it. Moving on, but before I get into this week's PTR, I want to bring up the Burning Crusade and its beta, which I admit I have not been keeping a close eye on.
Why is the video skipping so much? It's just ticking me off.
This past week or so has been peppered with builds and updates, tweaks, and hashtag some changes. Most recently, we learned from data mined information that there's going to be a deluxe edition of sorts that includes a mount, which also presumes an in-game shop, which also presumes the end of everything as we know it. The comments
so expected, though.
Wowhead are particularly toxic, but one stood out. We are not prepared. So let me get this straight. Folks are flipping out over the notion of a toy and a ground mount. Never mind the unknown amount of gold waiting to be unleashed to buy max speed flying mounts within the first week of the expansion, and the economic cluster and player divide that comes from that. No, man, it's about Blizzard selling boosts. I'm sorry, boosts. Singular. Anyway, that's wrong, Blizz. Something out of touch. We need to preserve the sanctity of the game with a clear separation of the haves and the have-not, the real players and the
It's a clear separation of church and state, damn it. Clear separation. So disgusting.
The real game isn't about giving Bobby Kotick more money. It's about letting people buy gold from the gray market and giving them money, and using that to buy boosts from players, you know, real gaming. It's very weird, but I do notice this vibe, this air that lacks enthusiasm from Burning Crusade Classic, maybe? Like a few years ago, if you say Classic in a crowd, there's gonna be more than a few folks that would like turn their heads and be like, ooh, I got an instant boner. This week I did a Burning Crusade beta giveaway, and I know my content is more focused on Shadowlands, but still, I expected a better of a turnout. And it's over, by the way, in case you want it in. Maybe I just timed my tweet poorly and I'll consider doing another one in the near future. I voiced my observations that Burning Crusade Classic is attracting people who miss the gameplay of that era, but unlike Vanilla Classic, it might not be doing much to attract people who miss the old world that was lost.
I might play BC
because
I don't know.
Still have it. Or maybe it's because it's Burning Crusade and not Wrath of the Lich King, with smaller raid sizes and
if it comes to Wrath,
system of progression.
If they do a Wrath Classic, yeah, I'm gonna play it. Because I'm sorry, everybody who says all these other expansions were great, blah blah blah. Wrath of the Lich King, hands down, best expansion. Changed my mind. Let's go.
Or maybe because Sylvanas showed that midriff. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I know. So question, are you excited for the Burning Crusade? Or are you excited but just don't care to jump into the beta? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And now we get into the Chains of Domination PTR. What happened in this build, which came out on a Thursday? Thanks, Blizzard, for making me work late. Sheesh. First off, a few quality of life changes are coming like skips. Heck yeah! At the moment, there's no Maw skip, which I know is like literally 20 minutes of the worst thing ever, even if you can use a corridor creeper or an equivalent mount, and you can gain a level from it in only those few minutes, but it's totally the worst. Anyway, at max level, on top of the chapter 1 skip that's currently there, you can
He's
now
being
also skip
sarcastic there,
chapter
guys.
2 of the Covenant campaign.
It's not the
And that
worst. It
happens
just
to
takes a couple
complete the
minutes. Just
entire
freaking do it
Torghast
and get over it.
questline, where you save Jaina and Thrall as well. You can also opt to skip the post-Castle Nathria quest line.
Oh, I've had to do it 5 times. I've done it 3,
Keep in mind that
4,
right now on the
4,
PTR,
4
the
times.
requirement
It's
to
fine.
access 9.1 questing only requires that this
Bunch of
Denathrius
babies.
quest line is completed. I can't test this properly because I've already At the moment, there's no Maw skip, which I know is like literally 20 minutes of the worst thing ever, even if you can use a corridor creeper or an equivalent mount, and you can gain a level from it in only those few minutes, but it's totally the worst. Anyway, at max level, on top of the chapter 1 skip that's currently there, you can now also skip chapter 2 of the Covenant campaign, and that happens to complete the entire Torghast questline where you save Jaina and Thrall as well. You can also opt to skip the post-Castle Nathria quest line that starts after defeating Denathrius. Now keep in mind that right now on the PTR,
Okay, so that tells me that as the game progresses, your alts will be able to skip more and more and more and more. They're doing this in waves, okay? So the further on in the expansion you get, the more of this mundane stuff that people complain about that is the worst, you're going to be able to skip. Quit your crying. Quit your
the
crying.
requirement to access 9.1 questing only requires that this Denathrius quest line is completed. I can't test this properly because I've already completed these events, but I presume that if there's any preparation to be done before 9.1, you ought to defeat Sire Denathrius at least once on your account so that alts can enjoy these skips when you come around to it. Yeah, you miss out on a lot of anima for what's a pretty brief questline, but it's totally your choice. Quick bit of feedback though, I really think that at this point, apart from the Maw skip, there also ought to be a boost that takes us straight to Renown 40, seeing as how the 9.1 campaign continues at Renown 44. That's going to make for an awkward wait for people who are behind, or characters who are behind. Second, I don't think there's a need to repeat a Covenant campaign that we've already done. So in those situations, just offer another skip so that these alts can immediately access all 3 of their soulbinds. Do that and problem solved. The game is literally perfect and we can all be happy. Also, another upcoming change, swapping Covenants will refill your conduit energy to full. And now Shadowlands is beyond perfect. Yay! Onto Mythic Plus World, we have a single one-line description of what the upcoming seasonal affix may be. Reading from Wowhead, it says, defeat the Jailer's forces to gain cool powers! Exclamation point. And
Cool.
that's it. That's all we've got. And
Awesome.
everyone reacted well. No, people lost their freaking minds with speculation, thinking that these will be like anima powers, full-on RNG-based buffs that
Sweet,
make
bro.
or break a run. Blizzard, why aren't you listening? That PH, by the way, stands for placeholder, you know, kind of like Mega Soul Ash. For now, we don't know what it's going to be. Like, it could be a thing that we pick up with extra action buttons that allow for mob skips.
It's
might
not
be
Mega
the
Soul
ability
Ash.
to control certain mobs.
It's not
and
Mega
have them
Soul
fight
Ash.
with us for a little while. It might be a series of, you know, it might be patrols, far off mobs that we'll choose to defeat because we get some predetermined buff, or we'll skip them because you know that buff isn't going to be very beneficial, at least not during this affix. Or it could be some random ass anima powers that could make or break the run. But it's got me a little bit excited if this means the meta isn't about pulling the right packs in the right order. I mean, that was cool and all, but you know, I'm just ready to move on. On a smaller but bigger note, the Mythic Plus score has been implemented in this build. And we know how this pretty much works. Like, you see the score, and if it's not high enough, boom, you're rejected. If it is high enough, Then you look deeper to see if that record is legit, and if it's not, rejected. And you repeat the process until the group is filled. You cross your fingers, you don't talk to each other during the run, you assume everyone is going to be fine, and then you blame someone who is not you if things go bad. Well, it's going to work something like that, right? Unfortunately, what I'm really looking forward to in Mythic Keystones is not in test currently, as in these separate tabs or options to create lobbies that make it really clear that you want to time a key, or you just want to complete one. I know this can be resolved easily
Soul
by
Cinders.
putting it in the description.
Soul Cinders.
I firmly believe that
It's not Mega Soul Ash. Soul Cinders. It's called Soul Cinders.
More searchable.
I knew I'd find it.
Clear that this particular run is going to be with a group that has a little bit more time on its hands, that won't be as refined, that is more patient. Sure, people will be looking at scores and achievements anyway. There will be discrimination, but with this tab or this option, there will be a little bit less of it. And if it's even just one half step in a better direction and there's no negative impact, I'll take it. Moving on, folks who are looking forward to the easy path towards mythic level gear via PvP just had a wrench club them in the face. During Season 1, a player who achieved a 2100 rating in rated PvP was eligible to upgrade Conquest gear to its highest levels. All they had to do from there is buy Conquest gear and then farm up the honor to upgrade it. And that's pretty much done and over with, because now, in order to upgrade your gear, you need to not only have that rating, but you must also win at least one match during the week while still at that rating. So if I got to 2100, big miracle, but if I got to 2100 and I bought a helmet to upgrade and then I almost maxed it out with honor, but I fell a little bit short, after the reset, I need to win an arena match and have my rating be over 2100, then I can use honor to finish doing those upgrades. Overall, I actually find this to be good. It discourages...
What? Dude. PvPers are not happy right now. PvPers, bro, rip.
Is the less palatable behavior of doing.
There's your new chore, PvPers. We have to do Tourgast. You got to do more arenas.
Content that you don't want to do just because it's the faster way of gearing for the things that you actually want to do. I also wonder if this is necessary, considering that PvP gear's true effectiveness comes from PvP. So I think this move is almost meant to target PvPers themselves. Maybe it's meant to encourage rated PvP as a career-long sort of thing, rather than, hey, I got a 2100 rating that one time, and then do nothing but farm honor to get every upgrade, and then only after you're done with all of your upgrades dive back into rated PvP. But I can also see some different behavior where someone can do nothing but farm for Conquest until they can afford to buy all the PvP gear from a vendor, and then cap on honor, which by the way is 15,000 at the moment, and then when they do want to do these upgrades, they buy a boost to 2100, or they get that one win at 2100 that they need, preferably on the first day of the week, and then blow all the honor that they have, farm as hard as they can for more honor until the next week, and then repeat the process. That's a big old pain in the butt, right?
Yeah.
Possibly lots
Sounds
of
like it.
paid boosts, or just a lot more arena that a player doesn't really want to do week after week. It's like, gosh, such a chore. It is so inconvenient for players trying to gear efficiently. And I think that's the point. The behavior of true red-blooded career PvPers won't be affected at all by this change, I don't think. But players who play in their respective camps are going to pay even closer attention to how Blizzard will distribute and itemize raid, dungeon, and outdoor gear. What sails over my head though, and fellow PvPers, I'd love for you to chime in, is how this might affect PvP participation overall, like MMR, and how saturated certain rating brackets.
I wonder how it's going to affect that. I wonder if it's going to cause people to look at it and just be like, no, that's too much work. Bro, I've got raid on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I've got to do my daily quests in the mall. I've got to do tour gas to get my soul ash and soul cinders. I've got to do all this stuff, bro. Oh man. And now, you know, I want a PvP. I want to get into PvP. I've been getting into PvP. It's been what, you know, way cool, man. Oh, but now I can't get the good gear without maintaining my rank. Oh, wait a minute. Can't get the good gear without maintaining my rank. And if I lose it, I got to go back and make sure that I do at least one and win. Dude, that sucks. That's rough. I hate it for yas. I really do. I just killed the thing. Like, I don't know, man. Oh, it's like feigning death. That's pretty funny. All right, that's complete. Like, ah, man, that's some rough. I don't know. Does that? Let's ask Casual Andy. Hey, Casual Andy, how do you feel? I feel like I never liked PvP to begin with. I don't know, man. That's going to be a hard pill to swallow, because if I ever wanted to get into PvP and to maintain that rank, I never got a good ranking in PvP. I never felt the need. I never tried. I did the hold up a second. I did this one time. No, wrong thing. I got quests. I did this one time. I got 1250, earned 1250 honor from rated PvP. I did that one time. This expansion. I just don't want to do any others though. It's just like so freaking boring. PvP is not that interesting to me for some reason. I'm sorry. Hey, complete the quest. Oh. Giving me more work to do. We're doing completionist shit today, by the way, boys. Let me get...
brackets are going to be. By discouraging these so-called non-PvPers, does this clean things up? Or is more going to have to change to ensure that aberrant behavior like boosting is further discouraged? And finally, we move on to Torghast. I've given a mouthful of feedback based on a previous...
Oh, I think that he just said it, though. I literally think that he just said what they're trying to discourage. Boosting. Because it's not an honest rating. It's not a way of, like, honestly getting a good PvP rating. Maybe that's how they see it. I don't know. I could be playing devil's advocate. I don't have anybody in my chat watching my stream to actually bounce this off of, but I'm just saying maybe that's a way for them to sit there and say, we don't like this boosting system in PvP. We don't like this meta of people getting boosted and blah, blah, blah. So for us to fix it, this is how we're going to fix it. Is we're going to essentially gate the gear to people who are actually doing the PvP. Maybe.
PTR build, and I have a few more things to share from this week's build. It's kind of positive. The big addition is this one thing, the box of many things. This is not a very inspiring name, by the way, but it gives Torghast a feature that's critical to a more genuine roguelite feel, a bona fide roguelite content loop. This item is obtained from just running Torghast. There might be layer or quest requirements, I'm not quite sure, but I just happened to see a broker who gave me a quest, and then fast forward, now I have this UI here to dump points into. This works similarly, kind of similarly to Venari, who's out in the Maw, who still gives upgrades based on Stygia. Only this time, on top of Soul Ash, running Torghast will get you Tower Knowledge, experience that you can throw into perks to help you on future runs. It's a very roguelike.
2 million? Season max 2 million? Who in the heck is running Torghast that much, bro? Are you serious? 2 million? You gotta be kidding me, man. That's some ridiculous crap, dude. What?
Some of these are pretty darn awesome too. Efficient looter is.
How did I do that? I don't even know how I did that. Let's go back. Okay, so let me get this straight. You go into Torghast now, you do a quest, and then you get this little thingy here, and you put points into it. Okay.
I'm not quite sure, but
that's roguelike-ish.
I just happened to see a broker who gave me a quest, and then fast forward, now I have this UI here to dump points into. This works similarly, kind of similarly to Venari, who's out in the Maw, who still gives upgrades based on Stygia. Only this time, on top of Soul Ash, running Torghast will get you Tower Knowledge.
Manifestation of knowledge gained in Torghast used to unlock the power within the box of many things. 2 million a season max. 2 million season max. How long are they? That's another question. How long are they planning on doing these damn seasons, dude? It's in between patches. That's in between patches. Holy moly, man. Give me more work, more chores, dude. Oh, so much to do. That's why you can't complain. This is why you can't complain. The game is fine. The game has so much for you to do. You just don't want to do it.
Experience.
Because your Mythic Rating Guild carried your butt. Never mind. I'm going to go off on a tangent.
That you can throw into perks to help
Stuck
you
in a
on
rant.
future runs. It's a very roguelite staple. Some of these are pretty darn awesome too. Efficient looter is mechanically like a really janky right now, but it basically lets you auto loot. You can jump into Torghast with these things called blessings, the opposite of.
After killing an enemy excluding Torghast bosses, you automatically loot the corpse. Cool.
Torments. Like I got one that is a basic damage and
damage taken reduced by 10%. The duration of all incoming stun, silence, and fear effects are reduced by 25%. Nice. Challenge Slayer. When a non-boss elite enemy is brought below 40% health, there is a 20% chance for it to die instantly. Dude. These are kind of nice. These are nice. These are okay. The champ gives a thumbs up on this one.
crowd control reduction, and another that has a chance to insta-kill enemies when they reach low health. I can reduce the number of torments that I'm afflicted with. I can give the brokers more stuff to sell me. I can take less damage.
Whoa. Because I'm not doing PTR. I don't do PTR crap. Begin each run with 2 fewer torments. That's nice. Take 5% reduced damage. Discovered cache. Each run, broker merchant will have 2 of the following rare anima powers available for purchase. Empowered bravery. Immune to fear when empowered. Empowered hopes. When empowered, jumping has a high chance to deal damage to a random nearby enemy. Nice. Empowered Phantasma. When empowered, increase the amount of Phantasma dropped from enemies. Empowered Regeneration. When empowered, heal 2% of the maximum health every 10 seconds while on out of combat. Potent Potions. Using a rejuvenating siphoned essence potion, double casts its effects and applies a damage shield for 2 minutes. Dude. Maw-forged weapons aid you in combat for 2 minutes. What's the soul jar?
From elites, and I think I can have.
I want to see what the soul jar is.
Powers, but who am I to complain? This is one of those situations where early looks can be detrimental to giving good feedback. Like just the other day, I thought about and I suggested removing torments, and now today there's a whole progression tree to overcome said torments and then some. But of course, some people will not get over their initial impressions. I don't blame you. Blizzard may have forgot something about roguelites until now. That progression is incremental before it's guaranteed.
Blizzard.
That while death and failure is
how this actually is supposed to work. I guarantee it. It's Blizzard's Tiger team. It's the Snow Tiger. The Snow Tiger team. That's right.
part of the experience, walking away with a little something to help you next time is super, super important to the loop. It's tough because ultimately Torghast isn't really a roguelite. It's a side feature of a MMO, but I'll happily continue giving
That's
feedback.
right, true.
And I see this UI and I'm like, dude, I gotta fill this thing up and see just how stupid Torghast gets with all these perks. So I better wrap this up. That's the show. This show really did turn out to be a heck of a week with tons of
What I missed. I'm back. I get some pizza. Is she done? Ah, shit.
newcomer or an ex-player who's looking on the inside. I'm not 100% sure what I have planned for next week. I think I have some fluff content sort of ready to go, but I really want to dive back into Torghast to see how these perks feel. And I have a lot of alts to prep for mission table farming too. Too many things to do, all right? But in the meantime, do some venting on your own here in the channel. What are you playing this weekend? Share that and your other thoughts from this week, whether they're positive or otherwise. Please subscribe to the channel for more of this and all things Warcraft. Consider being a lovely supporter like our super cool Twitch subscribers and our beloved patrons. I hope to see some newcomers soon. And like the video, because you're already awesome, just make yourself just a little bit more awesomer. We'll see you next week, folks. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy. Boom, 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 dun, dun, dun. Someone wanted me to sing the song, and I'm gonna try to improv it with some melody. Da da da. And he may not, in fact.
I really like Soul. He's really good. Like his content. Make sure you hit the like button. I love a straight man who's comfortable enough with himself to tap into his inner sass. What? Seems that Torghast is becoming more and more like horrific visions with every patch. Hopefully Blizzard will add gear to Torghast to make it even more like horrific visions. All right, so if you saw the Preach video about the horrific visions and all of the gear that you're going to get from that, then you would know that that's not going to happen. I'm never going to do that. They're never gonna do that. I don't see the call to action video as heading down into negativity. You pointed out a real and ever looming problem that keeps many people from enjoying this great game. It is not a problem. You're the problem. Just because you can't play the game. Gosh, this is what I'm talking about. Soul Cinders on patch 9.1 PTR drop amounts in Torghast and Maw. Costs to upgrade your legendaries. Here you go. Here you go. It's right here. You get less Soul Cinders the higher you go. Do you see this? And you need Soul Cinders. Here's how much it is to upgrade your item. Yes, you still need Soul Ash. We are currently at 235. To upgrade your item level to 250, you need 5,150 Soul Ash and 500 Soul Cinders. According to this, with the current running time every 4 weeks, 3.24 weeks, you'll get another max item level legendary. It is going to take you 4 weeks of chores. Yeah, we know all this. We don't know comments. Why time gate this hard? Why can't we just run it until our noses bleed and make as many legendaries as we want? Because Blizzard is working from home and they need to stall because they can't go to work and actually put shit out. That's why. You big dummy. Oh my goodness. That's gonna be crazy.